Hey everybody, bringing you a quick guide here. I stumbled upon this post on Reddit by Chef Linguini, and he has some settings that you can change in game that apparently lower your input delay by about half, which your input delay is basically how much time it takes for the game to register anything you do, like moving your mouse or pressing down keys for abilities. So I'll leave a link to this post in the description, and I'm also going to go over all the settings you want to change here in a minute and help you guys out. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do, open up Overwatch. You don't need to change any settings yet. Just go to training, practice range, wait for it to load in. Pick any hero. Just pick a aiming hero or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Gonna shoot around a little bit like you normally would practicing. And then you're gonna press Control, Shift, and N. And this kind of crazy stuff will pop up on your screen. And up at the top, it should say 3 numbers with SIM at the beginning. So like minus, the first 2 numbers don't matter. What you want to look at is the last number. So 11. And the reason mine is pretty high right now, it should be around like 14 to 20. That's usually where it'll rest. And the only reason mine's going up and down so much is because I'm in borderless window right now. But basically you just want to check that number out, and that's what your input delay is currently. And we're going to try to lower that. So let's go change the other settings that we'll need to change. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to set Overwatch to high priority in our computer. But if you just do this through the task manager, it will just, every time you restart Overwatch, it'll just not save it and it'll just run it in normal. So what you're going to want to do is, I have a link in the description to a registry file. It's called Overwatch High Priority.reg. You're going to want to save this file right here. Wherever it saves, you're going to open it up after you save it, and it'll ask you, publisher could not be verified. Are you sure you want to run this software? Press run. Yes. And adding information can unintentionally change or delete value, blah, blah, blah. It's going to tell you that something could happen wrong if you don't know what you're doing, but it's okay. Press yes, and the keys and values have been successfully added to the registry. Now, every time you open Overwatch, it will automatically run it in high priority, so you don't even have to change anything. You just got to do that. And yeah, if you want to change it back, there's some posts in the comments in this Reddit thread I linked that will help you get that back to normal. Alright guys, so starting off these settings, we're just going to go to options here and just keep it on video. The first thing you're going to have is keep the game on full screen. In display mode, you want that to full screen. That'll reduce your input delay by about 2 milliseconds. It's not a huge deal, so if you don't have a second monitor, or you like playing in windowed or borderless windowed, you can do that, but every little bit helps for sure. I normally play on full screen. I just have it in borderless window since I'm recording right now. Everything else is fine. You want VSync off right here. Triple buffering off. The rest doesn't matter so far. And you're going to also want to make sure that display performance stats is on. Down here, if you scroll down, you're going to go to graphics quality. Actually, we're going to start with limit FPS. You're going to want that on custom. Set it anywhere from about 200 to 300. It doesn't really matter as long as it's above 200. And then you're going to go down here to advanced. And we are going to change the dynamic reflections to off. And you're also going to want to go down here to the bottom and change local reflections and ambient occlusion off. And that's pretty much all you're going to want to do there. And then you're just going to make sure you hit apply, go back, and then you're going to go to training, go to the practice range, and just pick any hero. It doesn't really matter. And then you're just going to press Control, Shift, and N. And you should see a new updated number up at the top there, and it should be lower than what it was before. And basically what this is going to do is, when it changes like this, you'll probably feel some differences in sensitivity. Like I had my sensitivity on 4 on all my heroes, and once I changed these settings, I had to change it to 3 on all my heroes because it felt a lot more sensitive. Like I was doing almost a full 180 with barely any mouse movement. So, but then just kind of go around, shoot some stuff, and you should actually feel quite the difference. And then also just you want to make sure that your FPS up at the top, I think that's Control Shift R to display FPS. And you want to make sure that's kind of staying even. You don't want it dropping a lot. Like, you kind of want it all in the same frame rate, because if it's dropping too much, like if it's dropping 30 FPS when you're doing certain things, it'll also increase your input delay. So if that's dropping rapidly and whatnot, you're probably going to want to change a couple settings, maybe lower the graphics a little bit. And one last thing is, if you want to lower your input delay even further, you can go in here to the settings, go to advanced, and here under render scale you can change that to 75. Press apply. Basically what it does, it's going to make the game a little bit more blurry, like especially at a distance the targets are a lot more blurry, but I mean it'll lower your input delay by quite a bit. Like mine just went down from about 7.9 to 6.1. so if you don't care too much about the looks of the game or anything, or you're running a low-end PC anyways, probably that setting might help you out. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the guide. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep you guys updated.